Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live.
Hi, everyone. This is Tracy. Come on in. Just let me see if you all can hear me. Hi, everyone. This is Tracy. All right, good. Good for doing a mic check because my mic was muted. How is everyone doing today? How was your Sunday? I'm starting to think that this is Sunday service, but don't get too comfortable, everyone, because we are reading the next book we are reading. Don't get too comfortable with all this stuff because we're going magical in a minute. Oh, shoot. Did I take it out? Oh, no, please don't. Oh, I took the. Okay. This is the next book that we're reading, Company of Prophets, African American Psychics, Healers, and Visionaries. I have no idea what this book has to tell us. I have not read it yet. I am not prepared or prepped with this book. I will learn what this book is trying to tell us as you do. This book is very hard to find. It is out of print. It can cost you up to $500. But as God's grace has it, through one of my group mates, she sent me the book. And it was like for $35. I don't even know how. And I think it came from the UK, as a matter of fact. I don't think it even came from the Americas. This book is us digging in the dirt, pulling out old stories, remembering old spirituality. So you could find this book as a PDF. So do Company of Prophets PDF. It will show up. It should show up for free. I think I have a link somewhere if anybody needs the link, but you don't need the link that I have. You can Google it. Don't Don't miss out on the next phase of spirituality, right? Because what you don't know about spirituality is magic. Magic is spirituality. There was nothing that Jesus didn't do magically when he was here. He prophesied. He made the blind man see. Not seen, see. He made the dead rise. Right? What other miracles did Jesus perform? Let me see. Oh, my favorite is the red wine. That's my favorite. Now, if I can perform some red wine magic, and remember his mama? His mama was like, Jesus, there's no wine. And Jesus says, Mother, it is not time. And she said that because he was running around the house. Look, Mom, magic. Look, Mom, magic. Look. She already knew he could, because they never brought wine. Jesus' mother, Mary, never brought wine. She was like, Jesus, just stick your finger in there, baby. And boom, the household had wine. So Mother Mary was like, oh my goodness, we ran out of wine. And he said, Mother, it's not time. No, he goes, woman. I love that he called her that. Like, seriously, Jesus. Like, He goes, woman, it's not time. She was like, but the people. Jesus, the people. And Jesus was like, God, should I do what my mother asked me to do? And God was like, boy, give them people some wine. And Jesus, because Jesus only listens to God, right? Clearly, he had to have a conversation with God. Y'all just didn't know it yet, right? And so he goes, Mother, I will give them wine. And boom. What about the fish? Remember the fish? Remember the fish? There was one time in my household where we did not have enough food, right? I don't even know why. And so many people were coming over. I remember praying to God, and I said, God, I don't need to eat, but we actually don't have enough food. So I'm going to hold back, and I'm going to portion out everyone's plate. And please, God, let no one notice. That's all I cared about, right? Because, they like to make fun of Tracy. Oh, we went over to Tracy's house. She ain't had no food. It's just like Tracy. And I'm not sure what happened in between because it was a packed house. I can't tell you what happened in between. What I can tell you is that by the time I was done, I was putting food away. I had made some lemon chicken, and it's the only thing I remember was the lemon chicken. I was putting food away. Everybody ate. Everybody was happy. It was a festive moment in my house. And I swear to God, I didn't have enough food. I swear to God. People were like, give me a plate, I'm going to eat some food, put a plate aside. And I was like, I don't think we have enough food to put a plate aside, but I didn't want to tell people. So I just put a plate aside. Everybody walked out with a plate, and I was still putting food away. And it was the first time that I believed in Jesus. I got it. Because prior to that, I didn't believe in Jesus. I was being beat the shit out by my mother. So how do you know God is there when someone's always knocking you in the head, right? But this was the first time that I could relate to something in the Bible. And I was like, that was real. That was real. Anybody has any stories similar to that? Okay. Some of Jesus' most astonishing miracles: raising people from the dead, restoring sight to the blind. Oh, restoring sight to the blind. This is my favorite. Casting out demons. Did you know that you can cast out demons? You could do it just by looking at someone. You could say to someone whose spirit has a spirit of screaming and yelling, you can look at that person and you go, demon, leave her body. Be gone. I mean, depending upon the severity of the mental illness, you might have to do it several times, but it still can be done. Cast out them damn demons. Oh, here's another favorite: healing the sick. Now, mothers, you already know. You all have the gift of healing the sick. We get our children to adulthood because of the gift of healing the sick. And I know we all do it by accident. We don't do it on purpose, right? Or your grandmama comes over and grandma, give me that baby. You know how they always, give me the baby. Grandma, he's too sick. Give me my grandbaby. she swallows that baby. She puts shit all over. We don't even know what she's doing. We're like, what is she doing to my baby? You leave grandma alone. You leave mother alone because she's crazy, and we don't interfere with crazy, right? And that baby goes to sleep for 24 hours. You swear to God, grandma done killed that baby with all that oil. She done put all over that baby. And what happens? What happens? That baby comes back to life and almost never revisits the illness. Think about it. And that's why we're going to enjoy the company of prophets. Because we're going to go way back in them days. And we're going to learn something. I have no idea what this book has to say. I have no clue. But we're going to have some fun. Hi, Kathy. Blessed morning, Tracy and mystical ones. Grand rising, mother brats. Bom dia, Tracy. Bom dia. Hello, Tracy and everyone. Wine. Yes, Jesus. Wine. Rhonda. Hello, Rhonda. Chi-Town. Chi-Town, bound world's greatest. I love that title. Mother of brats. Oh, you're saying, hey, Rhonda. Okay. We are at page 82, and I kind of feel like I need to get something, but I don't know what it is anymore. All right. I'm in a little bit of sun, which I don't appreciate. I'm in my front room, and in the mornings, I usually go in my back room. But it's okay. The struggle is the struggle. We're either going to finish this today or finish this next week. But, hi, Daphne from Cape Town. Hi. But, I just want to make sure you are all prepared to get the PDF, Company of Prophets. If you want to spend $500 for the book, go right ahead. Research the cheapest that you can find, but it's in the hundreds. I don't know if it's worth it. You can also PDF it and print it out, and bind it if you want. You can do it that way too. I wouldn't say drive yourself crazy. I also want you guys to know I am cooking soup for my neighbor. Apparently he loves my cooking, and he owned a couple of restaurants. And he said, so sheepish, he's like, I really like first I made him soup because he was sick, and then I made him black-eyed peas, which was amazing. And I made the black-eyed peas out of the can, and I just treated it as if it was fresh in terms of like what I put in. And I had to make it out of the can because I fucked up the first batch, but I really needed black-eyed peas for the New Year's. So I went back to get another bag of black-eyed peas, and that didn't work out well for me. So I got a can, and I think I went back a second time because I shared it with Richard. So I went back again and made another batch. Oh, Richard's my neighbor, a 90-year-old gay neighbor. In any case, he says to me, I really like your food. I was like, oh, great, thank you. And he's like, can I commission you to make some soup? And soup is easy to make, right? I was like, sure. And then he goes, hold on a second. Could I ask you to put everything in? I was like, what is everything? He goes, everything. So I could tell that he's the type of soup eater that likes everything. I don't. I just like broth. Maybe some carrots. Maybe some broccoli. Like, I just like broth. The whole bowl of soup could be broth, and I'm happy. So I said to Richard, yes, I could do that. I said, but I'm going to need... Oh, I forgot to put my... Hold on a second, guys. I'm not doing this without chicken feet. What? It's fine. Okay, sorry about that. I learned something from my other elderly neighbor, driving me crazy, Miss Marion, who I found out is a little sick. So I'm gonna give her a call today, make sure she's doing okay. She was supposed to come back on the 19th, but that's not happening now. But I was just talking, and I said, I don't understand how when I buy soup in town, some people have watery soup and some people have gelatin, and I like the thick gelatin part of the soup. And she said to me, just throw chicken feet in. I was like, what? And she's like, yes, you'll get the gel from the chicken feet. And I was like, oh. So just now, I brought a bag of chicken feet and I forgot to throw it in. It's a bag that was already up there because the last time I made soup, I used chicken feet. I guess it worked. I don't know. All right. Let's get this party started. Let's go back to the right banner. Conversations with God. There you go. Conversations with God. Okay, so we're on page 182. And just see something. Make sure you guys can hear me. So I'm going to start at the soul watches this whole drama play out. So I'm going to start at the soul. Okay. Let's begin. The soul watches this whole drama play. No, let me go back. If you think thoughts of illness or disease or continued anger, hatred, and negativity, your body will translate these thoughts into physical form. People will see this negative, sick form and they will say, what's the matter? They will not know how accurate this question is, meaning matter. The soul watches this whole drama play out year after year, month after month, day after day, moment after moment, and always holds the truth about you. The soul never forgets the blueprint, the original plan, the first idea, the creative thought. Its job is to remind you. That is, to literally remind you, so that you may remember once again who you are. And then choose who you now wish to be. In this way, the cycle of creation and experience, imagining and fulfilling, knowing and growing into the unknown continues both now and even forevermore. Whew, says Neil. Yes, exactly, says God. Oh, and there's more to explain, so much more. But never ever in one book, nor probably in one lifetime. Yet you have begun, and that's good. Just remember this. It is your grand teacher, William Shakespeare. I don't get that part. Why does God like William Shakespeare so much? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. And Neil says, may I ask you some questions about this? Like, when you say the mind goes with me after death, does that mean my personality goes with me? Will I know in the afterlife who I was? Ooh, that's a good question, right? I am constantly telling people, when someone passes over, you got to give them some time, right? Because although you may have loved grandma and grandpa did some shit. I promise you. I promise you. And so when they go over, they got to go through the book of life. So I would say, if this were a test, God, I would say we do remember ourselves. Because ourselves gets put into different lifetimes, right? The person, the soul stays with you through all of these different lifetimes. The personality might have some challenges in each lifetime, right? But the soul, oh my God, the soul stays the same. So Neil goes, may I ask some question about this? Like when you say the mind goes with me after death, does that mean my personality goes with me? Well, I know in the afterlife who I was, and God says, yes. And who you have ever been. It will all be open to you because then it will profit you to know. Now, in this moment, it doesn't. Now, I have a theory on that, right? I have a new theory on souls remembering. So when you die, you go back to your original self. You know God. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing on this earth where it's like, oh, you must fear God. When you get over there, God is like, hello, how are you? Welcome back. How was your experience? You're going to be like, God, it's kind of rough down there, Got divorced 3 times, right? The children robbed me blind the whole time. And my house burned down, right? It's just the worst case scenario. And God's like, I saw all of that. I did. Did you realize you made some really bad decisions that led to this, that, and the third? And because you're fully awake now, right? This is not where you get to challenge God. This is where you say, I know. And God goes, good. We still have to review it. Because when you revisit an experience outside of Earth, you still need to know what went wrong so that you don't repeat the same things again. The only question is going to be is, do you want to return to Earth or do you want to go to another planet? That's the only question. Back to the book. God says yes, and who you have ever been. It will all be open to you because then it will profit you to know. Now, in this moment, it will not. Side note. The Galactic Kids, and in particular the pandemic kids, are not coming down with the veil. The veil was not put on them. So when you all think it's cute, when your baby starts talking and walking at 6 months old, right? And you all think it's cute when a 2.5-year-old speaks in complete sentences and tells you about yourself. Like, oh my God, that's so cute. I see all the TikTok videos. It's because they didn't go through the veil of forgetfulness. The veil was taken from them. These kids got work to do. Parents, get ready. Because everything you think is cute right now, they're going to kick asses out there. And teachers are not going to... right now, teachers can't handle the Galactic Kids. They didn't get to the pandemic kids yet. Teachers are quitting. Because they're like, these kindergartens are disrespectful. And the kindergartens are like, you ain't spiritual. Don't come in here trying to tell me what to do. And I know what you did this morning. Like, that's what these galactic kids and these pandemic kids are saying. They're little, I love this movie. Oh, God. Something of the Children of the Dam. Look up that movie. The black and white is better than the colorful version. Because the colorful version was like all gruesome. Look up the black and white version of Children of the Dam, and that's what you all are birthing. You all got grandkids that are children of the dam. They not taking your shit. Watch. And then y'all want to put them together in a classroom? Okay. This is going to work out just fine. Teachers are going to be running out of schools. I can't take it no more. I retire. I can't wait. All right. And with regard to this life, will there be an accounting, a review, a tally taken, says Neil. And God goes, there's no judgment in what you call the afterlife. There's no judgment there. You will not even be allowed to judge yourself, for you would surely give yourself a low score, given how judgmental and unforgiving you are with yourself in this life. So, no, there's no accounting. There's no one giving thumbs up or thumbs down. Only humans are judgmental. And because you are, you assume that I must be, yet I am not. And that is a great truth you cannot accept, people. Nonetheless, while there will be no judgment in the afterlife, there will be an opportunity to look again at all you have thought, said, and done here, and to decide if that is what you would choose again, based on who you say you are and who you want to be. Like, I know for a fact I chose to be Black. I know this. This was not an accident. I also believe that I have been Black for several lifetimes. I also believe that I am Jewish. I also found out that Nigerians have a huge Jewish history. Or I could have been Ethiopian. I don't know. Right? I also know that I chose to be spiritual, but the only way I could find myself to be spiritual was under the psychic umbrella. I know this. I tried religion, and I hopped from church to church to church looking for my spirit to speak to me in church. Never spoke to me in church. Church is probably one of the most evil temples erected. And I mean evil. I mean controlling. I mean there's separatism. There's judgment. Like, it's such an ugly system. It's so ugly. And meanwhile, when you go to church, everybody looks at you with these, picket fence eyes, and they're like, hello, welcome. Thank you for coming. And I look at them like, devil. Just the way the galactic kids and the pandemic kids are looking at their teachers like, you fucked up and you want to come here and teach us? I know what you did yesterday, ma'am. Mm-hmm. I would play the game. I go into church and, good morning, Tracy. Mm-hmm. And I go, good morning, Mary Jo. How are you today? I'm fine. Here's your booklet, Tracy. Where would you like to sit today? I'll find my way. I don't exactly know which side of the church I want to be on today. It's such a challenge every week. That wasn't a challenge where to sit in church every day. The challenge was, Is the preacher going to be kind to his congregation? That was the real challenge. Is the preacher going to be kind to his graduation? Does the preacher have something to say? My favorite is to go to church and listen to a damn preacher that ain't got shit to say. You could tell when they don't pray, and you could tell when they pray. You could tell, especially in Baptist church, right? You could tell in Baptist church when they're talking about themselves and inside their ego, and when it morphs into anointing. It's two different people that comes out from your pastor. If the pastor even has that much grace in him. Most times you go to church and it's walk it out, or 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 walk it out. I love that. He also tried to explain it on many talk shows. Bastard pastors. I'm pretty convinced I have some anger issues. No, I'm pretty convinced of that. All right. Let me leave the pastors alone. That is not what this Sunday service is about. Or is it? Being fully aware of how you support your mega churches and how they buy my box and private planes, maybe it is Sunday service. Maybe that needs to be included. Back to the book, Tracy. My God, woman. All right. There's no judgment in what you call the afterlife. You will not even be allowed to judge yourself. But you would surely give yourself a low score, given how judgmental and forgiving you are with yourself in this life. No, there's no accounting. No one giving thumbs up or thumbs down. Only humans are judgmental. And because you are, you assume I must be. Yet, I am not. And that is a great truth you can't accept. Nonetheless, while there be no judgment in the afterlife, it will be an opportunity to look again at all you have thought and said and done here on earth, and to decide if that's what you would choose again, based on who you say you are and who you want to be. There is an Eastern mystical teacher surrounding a doctrine called Kamalaka or Kamaloka. According to this teaching, at the time of our death, each person is given the opportunity to relive every thought ever entertained, every word ever spoken, every action ever taken, not from our standpoint, but from the standpoint of every other person affected. Oh, damn. Oh, shit. What? What? In my Oprah voice. Let me go over that again. It's some bullshit. There's an Eastern mystical teaching surrounding a doctrine called Kamalaka or Kamaloka. According to this teaching, at the time of our death, each person is given the opportunity to relive every thought ever entertained, every word ever spoken, every action ever taken, not from our standpoint, but from the standpoint of every other person affected. Damn it. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? If this is true, and I'm wondering if you can opt in or opt out, then any word you ever thought, like anything you ever thought, do you know the thoughts I have? I have killed people. I have literally killed people in my head. No, really. Mack trucks running right through them in my head. Let me tell you a story. You know, always got a story, right? I was doing a reading. And I was working at the psychic guy. And this woman conjured up feelings inside of me about my ex. I was helping her with her marital situation. But she conjured up feelings about my ex. And so when I finished helping her, and I hung up the phone, because back in the day, there's no such thing as Zoom. I hung up the phone, and my first thought was, on my husband. And just let me say there was a Mack truck involved. And then I cried and cried and cried. It was uncontrollable. And the woman next to me, she's since passed on. She came, she put her hand on my back and she rubbed my back, which was something I really needed. By the way, everyone, rub your children's back. It's very healing. Rub their backs. And so she rubbed my back. And when I was done, it was the last time I had a bad thought about my ex-husband. I just couldn't live this way anymore. I just couldn't hate him anymore. It was such a struggle. Here my son was 20, 19, 20. And I couldn't do it anymore. I was done. I was done hating him. It's the last thought I had. So, yeah, I don't wish to revisit my thoughts, child. I have literally, I've stabbed them. I've pushed them down a flight. It's a true story. I pushed them down a flight of stairs. I have poked their eyes out. I have watched them get slammed against the wall. I didn't do that, but that was my vision. Yeah. I mean, that was the unhealed Tracy. Have you guys ever done that? Just like wish the worst on people? Well, okay. Maybe it's just me. Okay. In other words, we've already experienced what we felt, thinking, saying, doing what we did. Now we're given the experience of feeling what the other person felt in each of these moments. Oh, I'm not doing that. And it is by this measure that we'll decide whether we'll think, say, or do these things again. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. This Kamalaka thing. No. No, I'd be like, heaven? Yeah, okay. So, what are my options? Because I'm not doing Kamalaka or Kamaloka. I don't know what it is. I will tell you this. Sit back, got a story. I was thinking years ago, maybe about 6 years, 7 years, 8 years ago, about a little girl who I rammed the fuck out of when I was 10 years old. I hated her. I just hated her. In hindsight, I realized I didn't hate her. What I hated was my home life, my experience. And I hated that I begged my mother to not let me go, to not let me go. And I had no choice but to get on this stupid bus with these stupid kids and have a stupid camp experience that I was not down for. I just wasn't that kid. By the way, she never sent me back. And I picked one girl to put all my anger on. Now I'm 10. I don't know I'm doing this. But this is what I did. And so I called her out her face and told her I hated her whiteness and white this and white that. By the way, I grew up in a very racist household. My parents did not like white folks at all. And very militant. We should have been Black Panthers, I promise you. It would have been so much better if they would have just been Black Panthers, because I would understand the hatred. But what they did was they hated white folks, but then went out in the world and placated them. So that was a little confusing to me, because their hatred was palpable. Palpable. What they did out in the street was like, if I were to give it like a 1 to a 10, it was like a 1. They'd be like, oh, good morning. Good morning. And then my mom would go, what a bitch. What a crazy white lady. And I'd be like, I'm confused of this hatred. But as you guys know, a lot of that has seeped into my soul, right? You can't get rid of some shit your parents put inside of you. So I really struggle. But then I decided I don't struggle because I don't hate to hate. I hate the actions. I don't like actions. And by the way, I don't like actions of white, black, female, male. Y'all know. Okay. Enough about me. I'm telling you about 10-year-old Tracy. And I'm hating this blonde girl with blue eyes. And she must have complained to the other girls. So I was in the cabin by myself, which she had every right to. And the other girls bust into the room. They're like, what the fuck is your problem? We're all 10, by the way. Why don't you like her? And I said what I had always felt. I was like, I don't like her whiteness. And they were like, Tracy, she's Spanish. Well, I have to tell you, that changed everything for me. That changed everything. I could not believe I was being such a bitch. Hate 10, remember 10. Being such a bitch, hating someone because they were white. And totally switching the switch once I realized that she wasn't white. Oh my God. Notice, I'm 61, and notice that story stays with me. I've told this story before. It stays with me because it was a turning point in my life about prejudging and getting to know people. And then one day, about 6 years ago, I said to God, I'd like to make amends for that. Like, does she really know that when I said sorry, like I meant it? Because, of course, it was 2 weeks of hell for her. And I didn't get an answer. And I said, I just want to apologize. Like, what do? Everybody's on Facebook. She has to be on Facebook. And then I couldn't remember her name. And I was like, God, you perform miracles. Make me meet up with her. And God said, apologize to me. And I was like, oh my God, that's so dumb. No, I'm trying to explain to you. I need to meet up with her. I don't want to apologize to you. I need to meet up with her. So how do I find her? Like, what do I do? I mean, I can only think about Facebook, but can you magically point me to her Facebook page? And it's a real conversation I'm having with God. And God goes, apologize to me. And I was like, God, I thought you understood me. I can't believe you. Like, you're making this all about you. Seriously, real story, real stuff I'm having with God 6 years ago, 8 years ago. And then God said, apologize to me. And I was like, oh, you mean apologize to you? And I was like, okay, God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that 10-year-old Tracy hurt that little 10-year-old girl. I'm sorry I was racist. I'm sorry I was mean. I'm sorry that I called her out her face. I don't know where I was at 10 years old to give that girl such a verbal beating. I am sorry. And I said it with all my heart. And then God said to me, you want to know what else you did? And at that time, I said yes, because I was so sorrowful for this one event. I can't imagine that there weren't other events. And so I said yes. And God said, lay down. And I did. And I can't tell you, because I don't remember everybody I've ever heard it in that session with God when he said, lay down. What I can tell you is how much I cried. And God showed me how hurtful I was with my words, with my dispositions, with my annihilation. And I think that was a spiritual breakthrough when I began to realize hurting someone is never going to be the game, ever. Retaliating to hurt someone is never going to be the game. Now, truth hurts. And much in the same way I talked to Ezra about truth, I do know that when someone's called out for truth, it can hurt their feelings. And I don't know if that's something that's preventable, right? If someone says to me, Tracy, you're pretty racist, I would say there's a lot of truth in it, right? I'm not racist. I'm not like, if you knew my upbringing, yeah, there's a lot of truth in what you're saying. But I'm racist based upon actions in the world, not racist based upon your color. It just happens to be a lot in the same color, do a lot of things. So when I call it out, it comes across as if I am racist. But if that's how you feel, I would not agree. I would agree with you because I can understand from your perspective how I'm acting can be racist to you. I can get that. And what I want others to do is get there too, that your actions can produce something in somebody else. So hear them out. I don't like it when you do this. Okay. I'll try and stop. Right? Am I making sense? All right. In any case, that was my conversation with God. All right. What occurs in your afterlife? This is far too extraordinary to describe here in terms you could comprehend because the experience is outer dimensional and literally defies description using tools as severely limited words. It is enough to say that you will have the opportunity to review again your present life without pain or fear or judgment for the purpose of deciding how you feel about your experience here and where you want to go from there. Many of you will decide to come back here. Oh, hell no. To return to this world of density and relativity for another chance to experience out the decisions and choices you make about yourself at this level. Nope. Nope. Not coming back. That's why I'm fixing all my mistakes right now. Others of you will a select few will return with a different mission. You will return to density and matter for the sole purpose of bringing others out of density and matter. Always there are on the earth those among you who have made such a choice. Well, that must be what I'm doing right now because I'm trying to get to the masses and I'm not coming back. Not happening. You can tell them apart at once. Their work is finished. They have returned to earth to simply and merely to help others. This is their joy. This is their exaltation. They seek not but to be of service. You cannot miss these people. They are everywhere. There are more of them than you think. Chances are you know one or know of one. Hello, me. Hello, me. Y'all think I do these YouTube videos for my ego. Nobody thinks that actually. I do it as a service. I wouldn't even know how to stop right now. I mean, YouTube could be like, we'll never highlight you ever again. And I would be like, that's okay, YouTube. I'm going to do the videos anyways. All right, let me say hi to my peoples. Where am I? Chi-Town. Hi, Steven. Oh, my goodness. I've been through the same thing. Yes, Kathy. Playing that fake game was tiring for me and decided my comfort spot was at home. Hi, Bree. Love. This makes me feel so good to hear, right? Grand Rising Creative Soul. Okay, back to the book. You cannot miss these people. They're everywhere. There are more than you think. Chances are you know one or know of one, right? And Neil goes, am I one? And God goes, no. He goes, if you have to ask. You know you are not one. One such as this asks questions of no one. There is nothing to ask. Oh, that's interesting. Then I really must be one. I'm not asking y'all anything. I'm like, I know why I came here. I am a service. I just wish for my spirituality to get, that's what I want more than anything. I want my spirituality to get deeper. And I did candle magic on my spirituality. And my candle magic candle ran beautifully. So I know my request will get granted. I want to know more. But in order to know more, I have to make sure my brain cells will absorb more. And so I can't be tired. I've got to discipline myself, and which I do anyway, but I've got to do it even better because right now I don't go to bed till 12 o'clock, but I'm thinking I should go to bed a little bit earlier, right? I used to go to bed at 7, child. Oh, but I don't have TV in my room, and that's the only thing that stops me. I do bring my laptop in my room, but watching TV actually helps me to go to sleep from my bed because I'm in a very relaxed position, right? Oh, I just got tired just thinking about being in a relaxed position. But I don't have a TV in my room, so that stops me from getting all the sleep that I need. But I'm usually in bed by 12 or 12:30, and I usually get a good 6.5, 7 hours of sleep. I do. I like being in bed earlier. Maybe I should just practice this. I used to be in bed at 10 o'clock. I loved it. And I would like sit up and write in my journal. Oh, the good old days. I love that kind of stuff. There's a whole life you can have inside your bedroom, everyone, and you should consider that. Like your bedroom, your house is your sanctuary. I'm really going off from this book today. Your house is your sanctuary, right? But your bedroom, your boudoir, that's the place. So that one should be like aesthetically just uh, uh, beautiful. Aesthetically, you should be able to walk into your bedroom and say, good night, bedroom. I'm happy to embrace you and happy to be in the bed with you, bedroom. Okay, I'm doing myself crazy. In any case, let me see. One such question. Oh, yes. He goes, am I one? And God goes, no. God is so honest. Neil goes, am I one? God goes, no. And he goes, if you have to ask, you know you are not one. One such as this question of no one. There is nothing to ask. But I do want to say this to Neil. Neil wrote 4 or 5 of these books. The I believe that this book that I'm reading right now is probably the Book of Annoyance. I believe I never read these books. The second half of the book was a continuation of the first book with his annoyance. But I don't believe that you could get up to 4 or 5 volumes and stay annoying. By that time, you are a service to God. So, out of fairness to Neil, he had become a service to God. All right. And God goes, you, my son, in this lifetime are a messenger. Oh, see, a hambringer, a harbinger, a bringer of news, a seeker, and frequently a speaker of truth. That's enough for one lifetime. Be happy. And Neil goes, oh, I am, but I can always hope for more. And God goes, yes, and you will. Always. You will hope for more. It's in your nature. It's divine nature to seek always to be more. So seek, yes, by all means, seek. Now, I want to answer definitively the question with which you started this segment of our ongoing conversations. Go ahead and do what you really love to do. This is God talking, guys. Do what you really love to do. What is it that you really love to do? get there. Do it. Do nothing else. You have such little time. How can you think of wasting a moment doing something for a living you don't like to do? You know, there are many people out there that are still straddling the fence. Oh, my tooth. Oh, there's such an air coming through my tooth. Do you guys hear it? Tooth. Tooth. Do you hear that? I'm not 5 years old, people, but I'm talking like a 5-year-old. There are so many people that's like, oh man, Tracy, I've been wanting to take your tarot class for years. Make today the day that you decide to take the tarot class. It really does change your life. It really does. I don't know what that gift is I have. Oh my God. But everybody comes out forever changed. Take the tarot class. Start there. I'm not saying I'm your gift. I'm saying I'm the tool that could begin the journey. You never have to talk with me again. I give two shits. But take the tarot class and allow the slow burning of your soul evolutionizing where you are. There's so much strength in taking a tarot class. It's amazing. It's amazing. I just wish I had given tarot classes like 20 years ago. All the people I could have saved. Y'all going up to the church wanting to be saved. Nothing happens, right? When you get up to the front of the church and the church says, come up here if you want to be saved. And you go up. The trick is that once you go up to be saved, most times they try to incorporate you into joining the church. That's a whole nother trick that they use in order to be saved. In any case, haven't you gone up to a church to be saved and you don't feel anything? You're like, well, I know I came up because of some weird guilt and the need to be saved, kind of like John the Baptist, where John is like, be baptized, save yourselves, right? That was a little different. Those people came out of the water saved. Just going up to the church and come up to the church if you want to be saved. And sometimes they look at you and you're like, oh shit, they're talking to me. Pastor's talking to me. And then you're like, well, just see. Okay, Miss Johnson's going up. Miss Johnson goes up every week. She's the one that does that dancing when the trampoline starts. I don't know if I want to follow Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson kind of crazy. But eventually you get up and you go up there to be saved. And you come out thinking, let me light my cigarette. Let me cuss somebody out because folks done made me mad. I'm in church and you trying to text me and phone me. Let me light up my cigarette and let me cuss somebody out. And I better have my wine at home. Nobody better have touched my beer, right? That's not me, people. Today, it's not me. It might have been me back in the day. I say that to say, this is Heal Tracy talking to you. This is Spiritual Tracy. So glad I climbed that mountain. And if you want something different, take tarot class. All right. Go ahead and do what you really love to do. Do nothing else. You have so little time. How can you think of wasting a moment doing something for a living you don't like to do? What kind of living is that? That is not living. That is dying. If you say, but I have others who depend upon me, little mouths to feed, a spouse who's looking to me, I will answer, if you insist that your life is about your body, is about what your body is doing, you do not understand why you came here. At least do something that pleases you, that speaks of who you are. Then at least you can stay out of resentment and anger towards those you imagine are keeping you from your joy. What your body is doing is not to be discounted. It's important, not in a way that you think. The actions of the body were meant to be reflections of a state of being, not attempts to attain a state of being. In the true order of things, one does not do something in order to be happy. One is happy and hence does something. One does not do something in order to be compassionate. One is compassionate and hence acts in a certain way. The soul's decision precedes the body's action in a highly conscious person. Only an unconscious person attempts to produce a state of the soul through something the body is doing. This is what is meant by statement. Your life, this is what is meant by the statement. Your life is not about what your body is doing. Yet it is true that what your body is doing is a reflection of what your life is about. It is another divine dichotomy. Yet, know this. If you understand nothing else, you have a right to your joy. Children or no children, spouse or no spouse, seek it, find it. And you will have a joyful family, no matter how much money you make or don't make. And if they aren't joyful and they get up and leave you, then release them with love to seek their joy. This is very pretty. If, on the other hand, you have evolved to the point where things of the body are not of concern to you, then you are even more free to seek this joy on earth as it is in heaven. God says it's okay to be happy. Yes, even happy in your work. Your life work is a statement of who you are. If it is not, then why are you doing it? Do you imagine that you have to? You don't have to do anything. If man who supports his family at all costs, even his own happiness, who you are, then love your work because it's facilitating your creation of a living statement of self. If a woman works at job she hates in order to meet responsibilities as she sees them is who you are, then love your job, or it totally supports your self-image, your self-concept. Everyone can love everything the moment they understand what they are doing and why. No one does anything he doesn't want to do. You know, I've had many conversations with clients, and they will say to me, Tracy, I hate this. And it could be their marriage, could be their job. And I say to them, be really careful about what you say that you hate. Let's say it's your job. Because the universe wants to help you. And the universe will say, she doesn't like her job. And God will say, no, she doesn't mean it. But then you spend years at the job. And you say the same thing every day for 2 years. But you get up, you go to work, you do an amazing job, you don't feel valued, you come home, you complain as you're in your car about the bitch in the next cubicle next to you, and your boss is a fuckhead, right? And you come home with that anger, you go to bed with that anger, and you wake up and you're like angry. You didn't even sleep during the night because you're so busy hating your fucking job. And you get dressed, you make up your best outfit, your best hair, because your job paid for your hair. And your job paid for your outfit. And you put on these, shoes, Marc LeBlanc or whatever, right? And you got your Louis Vuitton purse that your job paid for. But you hate your job. You hate the people at your job. But I gotta go to work because I gotta pay my mortgage. I gotta pay rent. Let alone telling the kids to get in the car. They don't know how to get up. Like, you're angry. And by the way, you create a household full of angry children based upon you hating your fucking job. And then one day God says, I'm tired. I'm tired. hurt you. You go to work, you live massively on, and you're on the list. Think about that. What suspenseful music to play as you pondered that thought of how much you hate your job. Learn to go to work better people. Learn that your job does pay your rent. Learn that it's okay when your boss is being an asshole, or the old lady in the cubicle next to you that just will not retire. Maybe we can look at things from a different perspective, because we don't want to lose our jobs. So let's learn to go to work happy. Well, let's start out by waking up happy because you have a job that does pay your mortgage. And let's greet our children with happiness. Hey, babe, time to get up. Gotta go to school. Because how you act is what they put out to their teachers and to their friends. I promise you. When you go to parent-teachers night and the teacher complains and you're like, oh my God, like I don't even know that kid. No, the kid is you. It's you. So change how you greet your children for breakfast in the mornings. You're the first person that they see after having an experience with God throughout the night in their dreams. And then get in the car happy. It does work, I promise you. Play some easygoing music. Try something different. What kind of music is this, Mom? It's classical music. Shut up and listen. We're going to getting classy now, right? Have fun, right? They're going to appreciate it because they're going to see a change in you, which will bring a change in others, and blah, 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 blah. And I promise you, you're going to go to work happy. But remember, the people around you aren't going to change because they aren't working on themselves. Only you're working on yourself. And learn to look at the pile of paperwork on your desk and computer and happily type away. Oh my God, I got so much accomplished today by being happy. Who knew happiness was a whole thing? And then leave your job and tell the bitch next to you, bye, sweetie, I'm going home. Well, you go home to a crappy house. Oh, okay. All right. Good night. See you tomorrow. And just giggle. Just giggle. Because you know when you look at that old lady next to you, and it doesn't have to be an old lady. It could be a little 30-year-old bitch too. The 30-year-olds are crazy, right? And you could be like, oh, child, I'm just happy I'm not that. And I pray for the temples to grow. Because now I see, right? I see the lack of happiness. And get in your car and listen to Tracy Brown Live, because she's the only one that's going to help with your spirituality job. And I'm kidding. You have many choices. And pick up your kids and try not to go to McDonald's because that just kills their soul too. Little do you know. And cook something. Get the kids involved in cooking something. You only have a few hours to spend with them. Before you know it, you're putting them to bed. And then go to sleep more exhausted than you've ever been because you're doing something different. So you're really tired being happy. It's the funniest thing that happens. Like, man, this nice person shit, this is tiring. So go to bed earlier. It's okay. And repeat. And repeat. And repeat until being nice and happy. It's just in you. And then you'll have people say that to you, right? They'll be like, oh my God, you're so nice. And you're like, I work at it. People say that to me all the time. They go, which I don't know what they expect. When they see niceness, they recognize it, but they're shocked by it. It's just crazy. And they go, you're so nice. And I'm like, it's an effort that I put in to be nice. And they just kind of look at me like, okay, yeah, okay. All right, back to the book, people. Got to get back to the book. All right. Chapter 13. Let me see what everybody's saying. Will you do another live with Lamar? I miss those. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. There's just, sometimes I'm too old. And it's okay, right? I know you miss them. I love you for loving us together. So I just want to say thank you, Kay. Okay. Chapter 13. How can I solve some of the health problems I face? I've been a victim of enough chronic problems to last 3 lifetimes. Why am I having them all now in this lifetime? Oh, Lord, Neil, we're at the end of the book. And God says, first, let's get one thing straight. You love them, meaning your illnesses. I just said that to somebody. I just said something very similar. You love them, most of them anyway. You've used them admirably to feel sorry for yourself and to get attention for yourself. On a few occasions when you haven't loved them, it's only because they've gone too far, meaning your health, farther than you thought they would when you created them, meaning your illness. Now let's understand what you probably already know. All illnesses are self-created. Did you guys know that? Shit. Did you guys know all illnesses are self-created? Fuck. All? God, all are self-created. I don't know about that. All right. All illnesses are self-created. Even conventional doctors are now seeing how people make themselves sick. Most people do so unconsciously. They don't even know what they're doing. So when they get sick, they don't know what hit them. It feels as though something has fallen on them rather than that they did something to themselves. This occurs because most people move through life not simply health issues and consequences unconsciously. People smoke and wonder why they get cancer. People ingest animals and fat and wonder why they get blocked arteries. People stay angry all their lives and wonder why they get heart attacks. People compete with others mercilessly and under incredibly stress and wonder why they have strokes. The not so obvious truth is that most people worry themselves to death. We've heard of that phrase. Worry is just about the worst form of mental activity there is. Next to hate, which is deeply self-destructive. Worry is pointless. It's wasted mental energy. It also creates biochemical reactions, which harms the body, producing everything from ingestion to coronary arrest and a multiple of things in between. Health will improve almost at once when worrying ends. Listen, people, my tooth fell out my mouth in front of you. And then I went to the dentist. I thought it was an easy fix. And it fell out my mouth over the New Year, so that didn't help my New Year's. And I went to the dentist, and the dentist said, "Oh, no, we can't put this back in because we lost the metal. It broke off. So we have to remove the whole bone graft and then create a tooth, full tooth, and then wait 6 months and do it again." And I was like, "Oh, this is what you call hell." And I was like, "All right, fine. How much?" And he says $1,700. And I was stunned. I was stunned. I just couldn't think. And the doctor kept talking to me, and I did hear him, but I didn't really care to hear him after that because he was saying something about you can get dentures and you can have dentures, and the dentures can include the one tooth in the front, and but once we take the bone graft out, your body begins to heal, and so we can never readdress putting something there. So you kind of like have to make a decision right now. And so that I heard, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll make a decision right now." And he goes, "We could do it today." And I was like, "No, we will not do it today. I need time." And he goes, "Will 3 weeks do?" And I said, "Yes." And I left out. I sat in my hot car And I thought, all right, God, I have a tooth that fell out my mouth. And I'm not going to worry, God. I'm not going to worry. I don't know why this is happening, but I'm not going to worry. And it was the lack of worrying that helped me to come up with a solution, right? So, just understand that worrying doesn't work. And if you take worrying out the equation, the solutions will start to pump into your head. So, Sweet Carmel says how we treat ourselves, what we allow around us, who we keep around us, situations we stay in or choose to get into, causes and maintains illnesses. Yes. Mm-hmm. Worry is the activity of a mind which does not understand its connection to me, says God. Hatred is the most severely damaging mental condition. It poisons the body. And its effects are virtually irreversible. What? Hatred is irreversible? Oh my God. Fear is the opposite of everything you are, and so has no effective opposition to your mental and physical health. Fear is worry magnified. Oh, I didn't know that. Worry, hate, fear, together with their offshoots, anxiety, bitterness, impatience, unkindness, judgmentalness, avarice, condemnation, all attack the body at the cellular level. It's impossible to have a healthy body under these conditions. Similarly, although to a somewhat lesser degree, conceit, self-indulgence, and greed lead to physical illness or lack of well-being. All illnesses created first in the mind. Damn. I really need to rethink my illnesses now. How can that be? What conditions contracted from another? Wait, how can it be? What of conditions contracted from another? Colds, or for that matter, AIDS. And God says, nothing occurs in your life, nothing which is not first a thought. Thoughts are like magnets, drawing effects to you. The thought may not always be obvious and thus clearly causative, as in, I'm going to contract a terrible disease. The thought may be, and usually is, far more subtle than that. I am not worthy to live. My life is always a mess. I am a loser. God is going to punish me. I am sick and tired of my life. Thoughts are a very subtle yet extremely powerful form of energy. Words are less subtle, more dense. Words are less subtle, more dense. Actions are the most dense of all. Action is energy in physical form in heavy motion. Let's see, heavy motion. Small wonder you come down with a cold. That would be the least of it. It is very difficult to reverse the effects of negative thinking once they have taken physical form. Not impossible, but very difficult. It takes an action of extreme faith. It requires an extraordinary belief in the positive force of the universe. Whether you call that God, Goddess, the unmoved mover, prime force, first cause, or whatever, healers have just such faith. It is a faith that crosses over into absolute knowing. They know that you are meant to be whole, complete, and perfect in this moment, now. This knowingness is also a thought, excuse me, and a very powerful one. It has the power to move mountains, to say nothing of the molecules in your body. That is why healers can heal, often even at a distance. Thought knows no distance. Thought travels around the world and traverses the universe faster than you can say the word. Say but the word, and my servant shall be healed. And it was so. In the same hour, even before his sentence was finished, such was the faith of the centurion. Yet you are all mental lepers. Your mind is eaten away with negative thought. Some of these are thrust upon you. Many of these you actually make up, conjure up yourselves, and then harbor and entertain for hours, days, weeks, months, even years. And you wonder why you are sick? You can solve some of these health problems, as you put it, by solving the problems in your thinking. Yes, you can heal some of the conditions you have already acquired, given yourself, as well as prevent major new problems from developing. And you can do this by changing your thinking. And I totally believe this because my dad was on an oxygen tank, and he was supposed to be in the oxygen tank probably for a lifetime, but it was so annoying, so cumbersome. He hated the oxygen tank. And one day I came down the stairs and I said, "Where's your oxygen tank?" And he said, "I don't need it." And I said, "Dad, you absolutely need it." And he said, "I don't." And he lived for 20 years without his oxygen tank. As of recently, I got carpal tunnel. And I know when I got carpal tunnels, when I traveled and I twisted my hand with the suitcases. I don't know why I was traveling with so many suitcases, but I was. And I got carpal tunnel. And I know that there's no cure once the carpal tunnel's out. I don't even know what carpal tunnel is. And you do need an operation to fix it. And I said to God, what should I do today? And God said, get a ball and squeeze it. And squeeze it every day and walk around the house and squeeze it. Hold on a second. And every once in a while, something does happen, and I could feel the carpal tunnel showing up again. But for the most part, by exercising my hand, I am preventing an operation that I cannot afford, right? And so I am deciding to not allow my body to carry carpal tunnel. Now, I do recognize that it doesn't go away because every once in a while I'll go to grab something and sure enough, it comes back. And I just calm down and I talk to my hand and I say, I forgot that you have troubles, and so I won't do that again to you, right? I won't grab a pot a certain type of way. I'll grab it with both hands, is what I mean, in terms of talking to my body and not letting carpal tunnel become such an issue that I have to have an operation, and it has been working. And whenever I strain it again, because I don't always use my ball every day, I get my ball out and I start the exercises all over again, right? Seems to be working for me. So I'm just going to go with what works for me because I literally watched my dad heal himself and will not put on a oxygen tank, and he lived for 20 years after that. Let me see. Okay, not only do you feel okay, you can do this by changing your thinking. Also, I hate to suggest this, but it sounds so mundane coming as if it were from God. But for God's sake, take better care of your body. You take rotten care of your body, paying it little attention at all until you suspect something's going wrong with it. You do virtually nothing in a way of preventive medicine. You take better care of your car than you do your body, and that's not saying much. Not only do you fail to prevent breakdowns from regular checkups, once a year physicals, and the use of therapies and medicines you've been given, why do you go to the doctor? Get her help, then not use the remedies she suggests. Can you answer me that one? You also mistreat your body terribly between these visits, about which you do nothing. You do not exercise it, so it grows flabby and worse, weak. Weak from non use. You do not nourish it properly, therefore weakening it further. Then you fill it with toxins and poisons and the most absurd substances, poisonings as food, and still it runs for you. This marvelous engine runs for you. Still it chugs along, bravely pushing on in the face of this onslaught. It's horrible. The conditions under which you ask your body to survive are horrible. But you will do little or nothing about them. You will read this, nod your head in agreement, regretfully, and go right back to the mistreatment. And do you know why? And Neil goes, I'm afraid to ask. And God goes, because you have no will to live. Shit. Damn. Wow. And Neil goes, that's a harsh indictment. And God goes, it's not meant to be harsh, nor is it meant as an indictment. Oh, shit. God damn it. If you guys recognize how much I spill over in this corner, you would have pity on me. I am constantly spilling something here. Oh. Usually it's water, but now it's coffee. All right. Lord, help me, Lord. Help me, Jesus, Lord God. Help me, help me, help me. All right. It's okay. It's okay. It happens. Shit happens. Now I gotta clean this. Thank God I always put a cloth over my table. It's a pashmina over my table. I do it on purpose. Just because I do know how clumsy I am all day, every day. So clumsy. What's this? All right. Sorry, guys. Just when it was getting good. You know, when the devil doesn't want you to hear something, he'll do some stupid shit like make you knock over your thing. But we have God in us, so we are going to finish this. Okay. This is ridiculous. All right. I'm just going to leave it there. Oops, wait. Hold on, hold on. Okay. Whew. So Neil says, that seems harsh. Oh, no. I use two locations. I'm in my bedroom and then I'm in my living room. So who knows what spirit wants sometimes. It's not meant to be harsh, nor is it meant as an indictment. Harsh is a relative term. Judgment is laid on words. Indictment condones guilt, and guilt condones wrongdoing. There is no wrongdoing involved here, hence no guilt, no indictment I have made. Simply a statement of truth. Like all statements of truth, it has the quality of waking you up. Some people don't like to be awakened. Most do not. Most would rather sleep. The world is in a condition that it's in because the world is full of sleepwalkers. With regard to my statement, what about it seems untrue? You have no will to live. At least you have had none until now. If you tell me you've had an instant conversion, I will reassess my prediction of what you will now do. I acknowledge that my prediction is based on past experience. It was also meant to wake you up. Sometimes when a person is really deeply asleep, you have to shake them a little. I have seen this in the past, that you have had little will to live. Now, you may deny that, but in this case, your actions speak louder than your words. If you ever lit a cigarette in your life, much less smoked a pack a day for 20 years, as you have very little will to live. You don't care what you do to your body. And then Neil goes, but I stopped smoking 10 years ago, only after 20 years of grueling physical punishment. And if you ever taken alcohol into your body, oh, come on, God. Alcohol is a problem? Damn. You have very little will to live. Oh. Neil goes, I drink moderately. The body was not meant to intake alcohol. It impairs the mind, says God. But Jesus took alcohol. If he went to the wedding and turned water into wine, so who said Jesus was perfect? Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Are you kidding me, God? Oh Lord. Let me tell you something. I used to work at a hotel, and the one thing I told my boss was, do not put me at the bar. And of course, one day she was short, she puts me at the bar. And I stayed at the bar and I thought, I'm never coming back to the bar ever again. Let me tell you who hangs out at the bar. The worst kind of drunks. They're excitingly happy, but it's not them. They're angry and you could hear it in their voices. They argue with each other. They insult each other. Two couples will be together just constantly insulting each other. And I'm sober because there's no way I'm drinking. Because there is a way that you could be a bartender and be drunk with the others, right? I don't taste the drinks. I don't care how they came out that particular day. If they wanted something more, they'd have to tell me, oh, you need a little more grenadine. And I was like, here you go. Don't give a shit. But when you listen to people at the bar and their fucking miserable lives, it's mortifying. It's mortifying. And they talk loud and angry and excited. And all these emotions come out when you work at the bar. So I went back to my boss and I explained to her what I saw at the bar. And I said, never put me at the bar again. And of course she did. And so I listened a second time and I wanted to know if I was being judgmental. So I listened a second time and I go, no. Different people, same experience I'm having with different people. My favorite is the drunk know-it-all, the cool guy that sits at the bar, but he's a drunk know-it-all. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Don't have conversations with me and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But I don't say that. I just look at them and go, well, that's an interesting point of view. I don't think I agree with your point of view. Oh, what don't you agree about? Well, I mean, I don't want to argue with you. I don't argue. Get the fuck out of here. I already know this is going to turn into an argument, you drunk dickhead. So I can see what God says when it says it alters your mind. But I don't understand what God says. So who said Jesus was perfect? Jesus was human. Jesus had sex, in case some of you all didn't know that. Mary Magdalene was his wife. Jesus had children. You know that holy grail y'all keep looking for? It's the seed of Christ. It's a human being being born, much the way Jesus was born. All right. Who said Jesus was perfect? Oh, for God's sake. Say, are you becoming annoyed with me, says God? Yeah, me too, Lord. I'm kind of annoyed. Well, far be it from me to become annoyed with God. I mean, that would be a bit presumptuous, wouldn't it? But I do think we can carry all this a bit too far. My father taught me all things in moderation. I think I've stuck to that where alcohol is concerned. And God says the body can more easily recover from only moderate abuse. The saying is therefore useful. Nonetheless, I'll stick to my original statement. The body was not meant to intake alcohol. And then Neil goes, oh yeah, with some medicines contain alcohol. And God goes, I have no control over what you call medicine. I stay with my statement. Oh God, okay, I get it now. When God starts to get angry, you have to be like, oh, I'm trying to understand. I got you. And then God finally says to Neil, you really are rigid, aren't you? No, he says to God, I don't know who says this. You really are rigid, aren't you? And God goes, look, truth is truth. Now, if someone said a little alcohol won't hurt you and placed that statement in the contents of your life as you now live it, I would have to say, I agree with them. That does not change the truth of what I said. It simply allows you to ignore it. Yet consider this. Currently, you humans wear your bodies out, typically. Within 50 to 80 years, some less longer, but not many. Some stop functioning sooner, but not the majority. Can we agree to that? And Neil goes, yes. All right. So if we have a good starting point for discussion. Now, when I said I could agree with the statement, a little alcohol won't hurt you, I qualify that by adding in the contents of the life as you live it. You see, you people seem satisfied with life as you know it. But life, it may surprise you to learn, was meant to be lived as a whole different way. And your body was designed to last a great deal longer. It was? Yes. How much longer? Infinitively longer. What does that mean? It means, my son, your body was designed to last forever. Forever. Yes. Read that. Forever. More. Neil goes, you mean we are never supposed to die? You never do die. Life is eternal. You are immortal. You never do die. You simply change form. You didn't have to do that. You decided to do that. I didn't. I made your bodies that would last forever. Do you really think that the best God could do, the best I could come up with, was a body that could make it to 60 or 70 or 80 years before falling apart? Do you imagine the limit of my ability? I never thought of putting it that way. I designed your magnificent body to last forever. And the earliest of you did live in the body virtually pain-free, without fear of what you now call death. In your religious mythology, you symbolize your cellular memory of these first virgin humans by calling them Adam and Eve. Actually, of course, there were more than two. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. There were more than two. There were more than two Adam and Eves. What is God actually saying? We'll visit that later. At the onset, the idea was for you wonderful souls to have a chance to know yourselves as who you really are, through experiences gained in the physical body in the relative world, as I explained repeatedly here. This was done through the slowing down of the unfathomable speed of all vibration, thought, form to produce matter, including the matter you call the physical body. Life evolved through a series of steps in the blink of an eye that you now call billions of years. And in this holy instant came you out of the sea, the water of life, onto the land, and into the form you now hold. All right, I think I'm going to stop here. Let me see. All right. 95. I'll talk for 15 minutes more. I'll do a full 2 hours today. Then the evolutionists are right. I find it amusing, a source of continuing amusement, actually, that you humans have such a need to break everything down into right or wrong. It never occurs to you that you've made up those labels up to help you define the material and yourself. It never occurs to you, except to the finest minds amongst you, that a thing could be both right and wrong. That only in the relative world are things one or the other. In the world of absolute, of time, no time, all things are everything. There is no male and female. There is no before and after. There is no fast and slow, here and there, up and down, left and right, and no right and wrong. Your astronauts, your cosmonauts have gained a sense of this. They imagine themselves to be rocketed upward to get to outer space, only to find when they got there that they were looking up at Earth. Or were they? Maybe they were looking down at Earth. But then, where was the sun? Up or down? No, over there, to the left. No, suddenly a thing was neither up nor down. It was sideways, and all definitions thus disappeared. So, it is in my world, our real realm, all definitions disappear, rendering it difficult to even talk about this realm in definitive terms. Religion is your attempt to speak of the unspeakable. It does not do a very good job. No, my son, the evolutionists are not right. I created all of this, in the blink of an eye, in one holy instant, just as the creationists have said. And it came about through a process of evolution, taking billions and billions of what you all call years, just as the evolutionists claim. They are both right. As the cosmonauts discovered, it all depends on how you look at it. But the real question is, one holy instant, billions of years, what's the difference? Can you simply agree that some of the questions of life's mystery is too great for even you to solve? Why not hold the mystery as sacred? Why not allow the sacred to be sacred and leave it alone? And Neil goes, I suppose we all have an insatiable need to know. And God says, but you already know. I just told you. Yet you don't want to know the truth. You just want to know the truth as you understand it. This is the greatest barrier to your enlightenment. You think you already know the truth. You think you already understand how it is. So you agree with everything you see or hear or read that falls in the paradigm of your understanding and reject everything which does not. And this you call learning. This you call being open to the teachings. Alas, you can never be open to teachings so long as you are closed to everything save your own truth. Thus will this very book be called blasphemy, the work of the devil by some. Yet those who have ears to hear, let them listen. I tell you this, you were not meant to ever die. Your physical form was created as a magnificent convenience. a wonderful tool, a glorious vehicle allowing you to experience the reality you have created with your mind, that you may know the self you have created in your soul. The soul conceives, the mind experiences, the mind creates, the body experiences. The circle is complete. The soul then knows itself in its own experience. If it does not like what it is experiencing, feeling, wishes a different experience for any reason, it simply conceives of a new experience of self and quite literally changes its mind. Soon the body finds itself in a new experience. I am the resurrection and the life was a magnificent example of this. How do you think Jesus did it? Did it anyway? Or do you not believe it ever happened? Believe it. It happened. Yet this is but yet this much is so. The soul will never override the body or the mind. I made you as three in one being. You are three beings in one, made in the image and likeness of me. The three aspects of self are in no wise unequal to each other. Each has a function, but no function is greater than the other, nor does any function actually precede another. All are interrelated in an exactly equal way. Conceive, create, experience. What you conceive, you create. What you create, you experience. What you experience, you conceive. That is why it is said, if you can cause your body to experience something, let's take abundance, for example, you will soon have the feeling of it in your soul, which will conceive of itself in a new way, namely abundance, thus presenting your mind with a new thought about that. From the new thought springs more experience, and the body begins living a new reality as a permanent state of being. Your body, your mind, and your soul or spirit are one. In this, you are a microcosm of me, the divine all, the holy everything, the sun and the substance. You see how now I am beginning and the end of everything, the Alpha and the Omega. Now I will explain to you the ultimate mystery, your exact and true relationship to me. You are my body. As your body is to your mind, your soul, so too are you to my mind and soul. Therefore, everything I experience through you. Just as your body, mind, and spirit are one, so too are mine. So it is that Jesus of Nazareth, among the many who understood this mystery, spoke immutable truth when he said, I and the Father are one. Wow. Now I will tell you, there are even larger truths than this, to which you will one day become privy. For even as you are the body of me, damn. Now I will tell you this. There are even larger truths than this, to which you will one day become privy. For even as you are the body of me, I am the body of another. Shit, what? And Neil goes, you mean you are not God? And he goes, yes, I am God. As you now understand him, I am Goddess. as you now comprehend her. I am the conceiver and the creator of everything you know and experience, and you are my children, even as I am the child of another. Oh shit, this is mind blowing. Are you trying to tell me that even God has a God? I am telling you that your perception of the ultimate reality is more limited than you thought, and that truth is more unlimited than you can imagine. I am giving you ever so small of a glimpse of infinity and infinite love as a much larger glimpse, and you cannot hold it in your reality. You can barely hold this. Wait a minute. You mean I'm really not talking with God here? And God says, I have told you, if you conceive of God as your creator and master, even as you are the creator and master of your own body, I am the God of your understanding. And you are talking with me. Yes, it has been a delicious conversation, right? Delicious or not, says Neil. I thought I was talking with the real God. The God of gods, you know, the top guy, the chief honcho. You are. Believe me, you are. And yet you say there is someone above you in his hierarchy scheme of things. We are now trying to do the impossible, says God, which is to speak of the unspeakable. As I said, that is what religion seeks to do. Let me see if I can find a way to summarize this. Forever is longer than you know. Eternal is longer than forever. God is more than you imagine. God is the energy you call imagination. God is creation. God is first thought. God is last experience. And God is everything in between. Have you ever looked down a high-powered microscope or seen pictures of movies of molecular action and said, good heavens, there's a whole universe down there? And to that universe, the now present observer must feel like God. Have you ever said that or had that kind of experience? Neil goes, yes. I should imagine every thinking person has, indeed. You have given yourself your own glimpse of what I am showing you. And what would you do if I told you that this reality of which you have given yourself a glimpse never ends? Neil goes, explain that. I asked you to explain that. Take the smallest part of the universe you can imagine. Imagine this tiny, tiny particle of matter. Okay, cut it in half. Okay, what have you got? Two smaller halves, precisely. Now cut those in half. What do you have? Two smaller halves. Right, now again and again. What's left? Smaller and smaller particles. Yes. But when does it stop? How many times can you divide matter until it ceases to exist? I don't know. I guess it never ceased to exist. You mean you can never completely destroy it? All you can do is change its form. It would seem so, says Neil. I tell you this, says God. You have just learned the secret of all life and seen into infinity. Now I have a question for you, says God. Okay, says Neil. What makes you think infinity goes only one way? So there's no end going up any more than there is going down. There's no up or down, but I understand your meaning. But if there's no end to smallness, that means there's no end to bigness. Correct, says Neil. But if there is no end to bigness, then there is no bigness. That means, in the largest sense, there is no God. Or perhaps all of it is God, and there is nothing else. I tell you this, I am that I am, and you are that you are. You cannot be. You can change form all you wish. You cannot fail to be. Yet you can fail to know who you are, and in this failing, experience only the half of it. And Neil goes, that would be hell. And God goes, exactly. You are not condemned to it. You're not relegated to it forevermore. All that it takes to get out of hell is to get out of not knowing, is to know again. You know, years ago, and I might have been very, very young, maybe in my 20s, I had an experience where I understood that God was many beings, but I also don't think I understood it. And I think I understand a portion of it, that even God comes from God, another being. And another being from God is another being. And another being from that being is another being. And isn't that what we do here on earth? As humans, we have an ancestral train that, is it really surprising you if there was a same type of ancestral birthing of sorts of God? Because I understand that there's no limit to the universe. I get that. But I just realized that when the astronauts in the sky, they don't see the sun at all, the way the sun beams down on Earth. So the sun absolutely can disappear. I just realized that. And moving forward, it's interesting. And the reasons why, when Moses said, "Who do I say is your name?" He says, "I am." Because he was no different than the God that he came from, because they are in full agreement. And I also got out of this passage that I read today is that there was more than one so-called Adam and Eve. Interesting. So when we have one sector of the world that claims that they are the originals because they wrote the book first, my core belief is that the Ethiopians were the originals. Somewhere in Africa, although that's where Ethiopia is, somewhere in Asia, there were more than one Adam and Eve. Now, we do know from science that all human beings come from the black woman. We know that from science. So we would have had to have been here first. And that's a period. But from the one, did God then plant an Adam and Eve version in Asia, an Adam and Eve version in Native Americans, an Adam and Eve version anywhere in Antarctica. All right, it was pretty deep, kind of like a mind-boggling, mind-blown, and all that good stuff. A lot to think about, guys, a lot to think about. Hey, Sky, God has and always will be bigger than we can even think, limitless. Therefore, we are limitless in growth, right? Well, I think Bree says, does that mean that Adam equals Adam. If we have to label it, then we might be missing it, right? Because what God said, from what I'm getting in his book, is that who we call Adam and Eve, there was more than just that set. So, Adam could equal. I'm back, guys. Adam could equal Adam, but which Adam are you talking about? So I guess it just depends. The answer could be yes, but the trick is not necessarily the name Adam, is what I'm trying to say. Adam might have a different name in Africa. All right, guys. I hope we did well. Right, Sky? I'm just like getting it. Sky goes, I believe that. There are more than one versions of Adam and Eve. Oh my God, that's mind blowing today. We're elevating, guys. We're elevating. This feels so good to get this knowledge. We're elevating because nothing makes sense, guys. Think about it. If we all came from original people, like the Bible has told us, well, that group of people committed first murder. Cain and Abel, first victim, first adultery, first molestation, first rape. Have you read the Bible? And I'm always thinking, how could this be original me? Fuck. Imagine that there are others of the version that they called Adam and Eve. Imagine that. Which Adam and Eve do you belong to? Because I don't belong to the one originally in Genesis of the Bible. Interesting, don't you think? Just breathe, guys. Just breathe. We're getting there. We're getting there. Like they have many religions for all the different needs, says Guy. Yes. We're getting there. We're trying, guys. We're trying. God, elevate us. Get us better. We don't want to be ignorant anymore. Just allow us to get there together, right? This is not a solo thing. Together, and maybe it might only be 25 of us on the purple brick road, knowing, just being a part of knowing is the better gift than trying to dissect the knowing. Just breathe. All right, guys, I love you. I better get up out of here. This book is so good, right? Ooh, child, this took me out this morning, says Bree. Right? Ooh, breathe. Guys, have a good Sunday. You deserve this after all the work you put in this morning. Ciao. Go get some ice cream. Go get a pizza. That's what I would do. You do what you want to do. And I'll see you again. I promise. I love you.
Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live.